the United States could be getting a lot more engaged in the conflicts in the Middle East as we speak. We're going to take a look at this. Donald Trump has made some strong comments regarding his reaction to what's going on in Israel's attack on Iran. All right, let's take a look at this. The most recent things that Donald Trump is saying, he is leaving the G7 summit a day early, which is very striking. And then also he has been putting out a couple of truth socials. We're going to take a look at those of almost a threat and almost a warning and a caution to the people in Iran saying, get out of Tehran. All right, let's first of all take a look at this. His reaction, his response to being asked by reporters of why he's leaving the summit early. And then you're going to hear something very strong that if Iran touches any U.S. people, any American citizens, I'll just let Trump say what he's going to say.
But Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Very simple. We don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon. But
what was the thinking on the call for Tehran to evacuate? Is there a threat or is there incoming? What was the thinking about evacuating?
I want people to be safe, and that's always possible. A thing like that could happen. I just want people to be safe.
Is there any new concern about U.S. troops at all?
People,
when you say better, what
will come down so hard if they do anything to our people. We'll come down so hard, and their gloves are off so beautifully. I think they know not to touch our troops.
Are you sending the vice? Do you plan to send the vice president and Steve Witkoff? There's reports that you want to send the vice president and Steve Witkoff to meet with the Iranians and have discussions. Is that something you're considering?
Not sure yet. I may. Depends on what happens when I get back.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end. A real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
Okay, right there. So if they touch American citizens, U.S. soldiers, the gloves are off in perfect Trumpian fashion so beautifully. He doesn't change. He is the same guy no matter what situation you put him in. He does not change. All right, some striking post that he has put out there on Truth Social 7 hours ago. He says, publicity-seeking President Emmanuel Macron of France mistakenly said that I left the G7 summit in Canada to go back to D.C. to work on a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Wrong. He has no idea why I am now on my way to Washington. But it certainly has nothing to do with a ceasefire. Much bigger than that. Whether purposely or not, Emmanuel always gets it wrong. Stay tuned. Nothing to do with a ceasefire. Nothing to do. And just yesterday, he put out there the strongest tweet available. I'm so used to calling them tweets, but they're posts on Truth Social. He said, Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Okay. So what is happening right now is we are seeing huge events in human history like before our eyes. I know everything is historical. Not everything is historic. This could be historic actions that are going to be taken. And this is what is causing a major split and schism within the people that have voted for Trump, the people that believe in Trump, the people that thought that he was going to put us on the right trajectory. And he was always about no new wars. He wanted to stay out of conflict, almost libertarian in that sense. And this is what has turned people off so much, and there's so much infighting happening because it seems like he's going against that. So either he has some major intelligence that we are not aware of is happening, because for years and years it was always Iran is so close to a nuclear weapon. They're so close. It's going to happen next week. It's going to happen tomorrow. But it never happened. And then Israel had some intelligence that said they are really, truly on the precipice of actually attaining a nuke. And why would it be so bad if Iran has a nuke? Why should we put why should that kind of change what we do as opposed to anyone else? Because so many nations have nuclear weapons. The difference between Iran having a nuke compared to everyone else is they want to completely annihilate Israel. Israel is the Satan. The United States is the big Satan in their terminology. And in their belief system, it's not about, I want to have power now and continue to have power. They are promised an afterlife. 70 virgins in heaven. You blow up as many people as possible. You get the game-winning prize, 70 virgins in heaven. So they're good with killing themselves and killing everyone else. I'm sure the people at the very top of Iran, they like the gig that they got, and it's pretty nice and sweet to have power over everyone. But it's in the back of their mind, they're good with shutting it down and just going to Allah. They're good with that. And that's the difference between them compared to other nations. I know Putin is a hothead in a lot of ways, and Kim Jong-un from North Korea is you never know exactly what he's going to do, and he has a thumb over his people, but they're good with being God themselves. They don't have the belief system of Islam, which tells them about this afterlife and going to paradise and all that. Their system is the here and now. It's a secular, that the state is God, and Kim Jong-un is God. That's all they can believe. And the people there, so they want to keep it all, nice and tidy and neat and just keep their power. But Iran is a different story. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to President Trump and what he's doing, even though this does not look good and it kind of goes against a lot of that he's promised, and getting us out of conflict, not starting any new wars. That was his biggest thing. Over years and years, it was all these presidents before me, every one of them, we got in a new war in some form or fashion. With him, no new war started. This could be an actual new war, and United States could be boots on the ground and involved. So this is very, very strong direction change of where we could go as a country. And this isn't just Iraq, and this isn't just Afghanistan. Iran is a different story. They are much different than those two places. This could be apocalyptic kind of situation. So I think that is why Trump is very in tune with what is going on, and he wants to get ahead of it. He doesn't want to be Monday morning quarterbacking and wish I would have done something, but maybe there's strong evidence, there's strong intel that they are being fed over in Israel, and because him and Netanyahu are very coordinated. They are very close in ties. Israel's going to do the best interest for them, and the United States needs to do the best interest for us. But I'm not going to be the person that says, I'm going to turn my back on Israel. Israel is unique and a very special nation. So I would want to die and be on the side of Israel than not. I know that's a strong opinion, but it's like, why them as opposed to anyone else? There's biblical reasons for that. So I would definitely rather be on their side and with them and supporting them as much as possible. Those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel, they will be cursed. All right. And then also this morning, Trump tweeted, I keep saying tweeted, but he put on True Social. He said, I have not reached out to Iran for peace talks in any way, shape, or form. This is just more highly fabricated fake news. If they want to talk, they know how to reach me. They should have taken the deal that was on the table, would have saved a lot of lives. Israel and Iran, they are going to continue in this escalation. They are stomping out, which is mind-boggling in a lot of ways. Israel is this tiny little nation, but as you can see, they are familiar with war, and they know how to defend themselves and even take the offensive and take it at other nations, which is very striking to me that they have almost just paralyzed Iran in over a weekend. They have taken out so many of their missile arsenal capabilities. They're going after military operations and destroying those places. Iran responds, and they're blowing up civilians in Israel and blowing up residential areas. So maybe Iran just can't aim as good, I guess, or maybe they just want to hurt, do something evil, have those casualties as opposed to going at the defensive systems of Israel and attacking their military. Maybe that's why they're just going after residential homes. I don't know. But I'm wondering if it's just they can't aim straight because they're just blowing up regular people as opposed to attacking the military. I don't know. That doesn't fit right at all. But in the fog of war, and we as United States citizens, we have not been in the fog of war most of our lives. Really, we have not been it. We have not experienced it to this degree that this could escalate. Is this the beginning, the precipice of World War III? That would take a lot of other things happening. And if the United States wants to get engaged in this, how far is Trump willing to go? But he's going to be making decisions. He's making decisions by the hour, which is why he's going back to the White House, to the decision room. Something I would just say, everybody be locked in, be tuned in, and be praying up, be praying for everybody, This thing about nation against nation, this has happened since the beginning of time. There's regular people, but nation against a nation, the spiritual realm is definitely above this and probably ahead of this and orchestrating a lot of these powers moving and a lot of these things that we're just seeing happen. A lot of these things have already happened in the heavenly realms. We don't see what's happening behind the scenes, but don't be fooled. It is there. It is there. Go to any of the books of the Bible, go to the book of Daniel to see that the nations, the king of Persia, the angels, we just say angel, it just means messenger. But those beings that we don't see right now, our elder brothers that are up there and looking over us and probably fighting for us in a lot of ways, they are the ones taking it out in the heavenly realms. We're just experiencing the aftermath. All right. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit this link and I'll see you on the other side.